Got this little microphone thing I had just slipping in my back pocket, you know. And guess what?
I don't think it's turned on yet.
It's not on?
Well, that's why I didn't. Okay. Thank you. How about now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you for bearing with me. I'm one of those guys. You know something? Can I put it in my pocket? Hey. All right. No, that's fine.
It's on.
Right? Oh. Oh, okay.
No, I think it's just. Okay.
All right, all right, all right.
Yeah, Dave.
Technology. From September 1966 to September 1967, I was stationed in Vietnam with an artillery battalion. Back in those days, there was racism, both in America and in the military. Black soldiers were the last ones to be promoted, first ones to be demoted, and we were overrepresented in the combat units. Well, I went to Vietnam and ended up on a fire base, hot, dusty fire base, about 100 acres on the DMZ, between North and South Vietnam. Our job was to keep the North Vietnamese on their side, and also to bomb and drop artillery shells on the Ho Chi Minh Trail, keeping personnel and weapons and things from coming south. This was a pretty stressful, terrible time in my life. We were getting hit every day. Mortars, artillery, rockets. Boom! Sometimes we would get one every couple of hours. We just run for cover. Sometimes there would be barrages lasting up to half an hour. And at one time that it was all night long. From ducking for cover to a tank taking a direct hit. Boom! Caught on fire, rounds inside the tank. Their ammo was going off all night. The guys inside the tank, well, they did find the dog tags. We would do fire missions. My gun was so big that you had to stand on it. And they needed a machine to take the rounds. They were about that high, weighed like 182 pounds. Of my job was to get those things to the gun. The other guy put it on the machine, get it on there, load it up. Boom! Warfare. Every day. 2.5 months. What got us through, what got me through, was what we call the brothers, African American soldiers, banding together. We had a little bunker and we'd all gather there and we would share goodies from home and, cigarettes and candy and cake, whatever we could get. Sometimes we smoke a little marijuana and drink warm beer, playing cards, and laughing, and just human connection, human camaraderie. Felt good. And that's what got us through the terrible times. Yeah. Well, I came home, pretty happy that I made it home alive. Yay, I'm back, yeah. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Except sometimes I'd be in a conversation with people, and I'm talking with them, maybe giving my opinion, and they'd look at me like, what's wrong with you? And I started to wonder, maybe something is wrong. So what did I do? I kind of withdrew, stopped communicating so much. And then I remember one day I was driving my mother-in-law, my first wife's mother. We were going to my home and maybe about 2 miles from the house, driving down the street, and I see this pack of dogs run out. Maybe 5, 6, 7 dogs just running out in the street. And I see them. I don't stop. I don't even slow down. I ran the dogs over, hit them. One went boom, boom, I could go feel it as I ran over it. Look at my rear view mirror. Miraculously, the dog got up out the street and ran on the sidewalk. Don't know what happened after that, but all I know is my mother-in-law looked at me like, what is wrong with you? You just ran over those dogs. I'm like, yeah, he got up, he said, oh, they're okay. Never gave it a thought. Never thought I had done anything wrong, just moving along. My mind is different. My attitude is different, changed somehow. And then I hit a wall, not literally, figuratively, I hit a wall. Things had gotten so bad, I was in my second marriage by now. It's getting ready to end. My communication skills are terrible. My attitude, behavior, not so good. I lost my job, got fired, not lost it, I got fired. Misconduct. My life spiraling downward. Well, I started to have thoughts. Take my shotgun and walk into the Bergen Mall and just start shooting people until the police came to kill me. Murder, suicide. Somehow that human connection was frayed, damaged. I couldn't see an end to it. However, my wife, seeking some counseling, she was going to a counseling company about our marriage, said, come on counseling with me. I said, okay, yeah. I went to her for the session and it gave me an opportunity to voice my side of the story. I don't remember what I said, but 2 weeks later, my wife said, get out. I want you to leave. I want a divorce. This marriage is over. We had a cargo van, so I got the cargo van. She got the Buick Riviera and the house and the child, everything else. I'm living in my van, playing drums on the streets for money, me and a couple of my buddies. And I'm saying, what is life going to offer? But one good thing came out of that counseling session. After we finished the counseling session, the counselor who was head of the organization there said, you got PTSD. I didn't even know what that was. You can get you can get 8 hours of counseling and the VA will pay for it. I just sign me up. So while I'm playing the drums on the street and living out of my van, I'm going to these counseling sessions. Boy, did that help me. I learned what was the cause of my behavior, my feelings. I learned how to cope, how to do better, to kind of rejoin humanity, reestablish the connection. So I moved to Baltimore. Life is kind of on the upswing there. Going back there, my first wife had moved to Baltimore with children, so I went there to see if we could work things out, and no. But in Baltimore, there was a dreadlock community, dreadlocks and Afrocentric, all things African, kings and queens, wearing the dashikis, the culture. And with the dreadlocks, a little bit of Rastafarian, smoke a little herb, maybe a lot of herb, but the welcoming there was so wonderful. I started to reestablish that human connection, yeah. Then things got even better. My third wife and I started a daycare center in our home. I got a job as a counselor with the Baltimore City Public Schools. Became the president of the Baltimore City Public Schools Council Association. Then I got promoted to assistant principal. Oh, life is good. Financially secure, socially welcomed, emotionally feeling better. As a matter of fact, I went to one of the schools with my fellow assistant principal. His name was Roy. Meet him. He says, Wallace, I can tell when you're in the building because everybody's smiling. That's what I said. It was nice, really nice. And I realized that people were smiling because I was smiling. Walking down the hall, hey, how you doing? Everything's fine. Oh, yeah, And it was like, oh, boy, life is good. And I have to tell you something. Roy was going to something called the Million Man March. That was in the 1990s. Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam had decided it would be a good idea to bring black men of all ages and all walks of life from all over the country to come to Washington and be together. So when Roy said, let's go, I said, well, 100 more people, not 100, 1 million more people in Washington, that's too much for me. But he insisted I go. And my wife said, yeah, you need to go. So I went. There I was. When the speakers there would say something really emotional and really like get us riled up and say, yeah, oh, I couldn't hear my own self roar because it was so loud. Mm-hmm. There may not have been 1 million people there, but there were at least 500,000. Black men everywhere on the mall. In front of me, behind me, sides of me, everywhere, black men. And what Louis Farrakhan had us do was hold hands while he gave the invocation. Don't know what the invocation was about, what he said, but as soon as I grasped hands, and by the way, I wasn't the kind of guy that would hold a man's hand. But I did. They were strangers, but we just held hands. All up and down, we're holding hands. We're connected. And let me tell you, the power, the energy was so vast, so pure, so much love, all of us there. For how many years have we been feeling the same thing, suffering from the same things in America, and all of a sudden we're all there together. And I felt it, and they felt it, and it was beautiful, wonderful. Never forgotten that. Hadn't happened since, hasn't happened before, of course. But the feeling was such that I remember it till today, and it changed my life. Human connection. Yeah. I had lost it. But now it had come back. And then I moved to Asheville. Here I am in Asheville. Hey!
Yay.
I wanted to be in the mountains, and everybody that I met in North Carolina on the East Coast said, if you want to be in the mountains, go to Asheville. So I come here, and the only people with the dreadlocks that I saw were white. And I said, I wonder how this is going to go. They had a drumming circle. Yeah, I was still playing the drums. I loved to play them African drums and play for the dancers. And the drumming circle was almost all white. But I played anyway. Feeling accepted, feeling the humanity, feeling the connection. I joined Ollie, senior college here. I was on a DEI, diversity committee. Me, the only other black man at Ollie, and everybody else was white.
Yeah, still is.
But there was an acceptance there. I was approached, and I could tell from the vibrations, from the feeling that I was getting, that I can live here, and I can feel the connection. Storytelling. The connection through storytelling. When I went to the storytelling circle, to their meeting, all white. Okay. Yeah. But I was accepted. So here I am with you here today. Thank you for being here, my brother and sister. But yes, I feel the connection. The storytelling helps the connection between human beings. It helps heal, it helps bring me close. I love to see you smile. I love to see your reaction as I tell my stories. Here I am. Here you are. Yeah. In fact, you're in my story. And because you're here, I'm in your story.
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Wow.
Thank you.